Hey there, Norman here from WoCode, and today we're going to be discussing the Hover and Zoom Gallery widget. The Hover and Zoom Gallery displays a single main image with a row of thumbnail images beneath it. When the user hovers over a thumbnail image, that image is displayed as the main image. This gallery layout is inspired by Amazon's product galleries and has been a very highly requested widget. The zoom in Hover and Zoom comes into play when hovering over the main image, allowing the site visitor to get a closer look at your products or photos. And for even more zooming fun, the zoom level can be further controlled by using the mouse wheel or scroll gestures on your input device. This widget is perfect for product galleries, but also useful for photographers or galleries of any kind. So let's go ahead and jump into the builder here and take a look at how this widget is set up. Here in the builder, we have our Digi Store template. If we scroll down here below the new arrival section, I would like to add a new featured product section. I want that product to be a new laptop, and I want to show off pictures alongside some specs of the laptop. However, an important aspect for many people when buying a new laptop is the question of what kind of ports does it come with? So by using the Hover and Zoom Gallery widget to display the images of the laptop, I can allow the user to zoom into the images of the laptop so they can visually see exactly how many and what type of ports the laptop offers. Now, before we can add the widget to the page, we need to do a small bit of setup first to achieve the design we're after. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and create a new row under the new arrival section. Right-click, add row below. Next, we'll come up here. We can copy this text since we want to retain the styling. We can paste it here. We'll rename this featured product. And then within that row, we'll create an inner row. And in that inner row, by default, it will have two columns, which is exactly what we want. I'm going to quickly add some text into the right column, and then I'll come back and we'll add the Hover and Zoom Gallery into the left column. Now with that text added, we can go ahead and open the widgets panel on the left, grab our Hover and Zoom Gallery and drop it into the left column. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and jump into the widgets option panel and take a look at how to set this up. Starting from the top and working our way down, we have the unique ID field. You'll use the unique ID if you're going to have multiple Hover and Zoom Gallery widgets on the same page. Below that, we have our Gallery Images section. This is where you'll add your gallery images. Each image can have 3 different images, the main one being the image field. You can load your image with this first loader, and loading an image here will populate both the large main image and the thumbnail. The other 2 loaders, large image and thumbnail image, can be used if you'd like to use separate images for those, but it's not necessary. The common usage will be just to use the main image. So below the gallery images, we have our zoom window position. This is where you'll set which side or type of zoom will occur when you hover the image. There are the traditional 4 sides available, as well as a lens and inside position option. One note on the zoom window. The zoom window will not appear if there isn't room for it on the user's screen. For example, if I set the zoom window position to left, but there's not enough room on the screen, then it will not show the zoom window to the left. Instead, the window uses the default position of inside. In addition to the user's screen size, the size that you set the gallery comes into play as well. Smaller galleries will usually have enough room around them to show the zoom window, but large galleries will often not. Below this, we have the Change Image on Thumbnail Hover. This option gives you the ability to set the main image selection functionality to be click instead of the default of hover to select. And then last, we have the Use Carousel for Thumbnails. This option will take the thumbnails and instead of stacking them so they all are visible at the same time, it will wrap them in a sliding carousel, which you can then move forward or backwards through to see the different thumbnails. I can demonstrate that real quick here by adding a few new gallery items. And as we start populating, we'll see that the gallery's thumbnail stacked. And if I enable use carousel for thumbnails, it put them in this nice thumbnail carousel that we can then navigate back and forward through. And that's all for the content tab. Now, before we jump into the design tab, I'm just going to quickly fill this widget with a couple gallery items. But before I do that, I wanted to quickly make a note that we suggest prepping your images before loading them to ensure that all the images share the same dimensions. You can use the crop tool in your photo editor to apply the same ratio to all images. This will make for a smooth and uniform experience using the gallery. An alternative method to that would be to use our force same image dimension setting that we will discuss further in just a moment in the design section, but this setting will auto crop the images as needed. However, this auto cropping could mean that there may be image content cropped out, especially if you're using a mix of landscape and portrait shaped images. So to avoid this, again, we do recommend using images that share the same dimensions. I'll quickly add those images into the widget and I'll be right back. Okay, so with the images added into the gallery, let's jump over into the design tab and take a look at how we style this widget. Now, there are quite a few options in here, but most of which are pretty self-explanatory and are related to the padding of various elements in the widget. However, there were a few specific features I did want to highlight, the first of which being in the main image styling tab. In here, you'll locate the Force Image Dimensions option. This option is used to force all images in the widget to display only at a specific size, as mentioned a moment ago. Next, we'll open the Zoom Window Styling option, and here you'll locate the Window Size option. This changes the size of the zoom window that is seen when you hover over the main gallery image. We have two options for this setting: Auto, which will automatically generate the size of the zoom window for you based on the image's size, and Custom, which allows you to set a specific size for the zoom window. We'll set this back to Auto, and then we'll briefly take a look in our site preview and make sure everything is working great. As we can see, when we hover over our main image, we get our zoom window. Let's hover over our second image, and when we zoom in, we can see that the customer is going to clearly be able to see the various ports that we have available on this laptop, which is exactly what we were going for with this widget. And that's all there is for the Hover and Zoom Gallery widget. As you can see, it's super easy to set up and offers a very familiar way for customers to interact with images on a site. As always, my name is Norman Durkee, and you've been rocking with the best website builder platform on the planet, wocode.com. And until next time, and as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support. We're always here to help.